I watched a movie last night.
Blink Twice is about two cater-waiter roommates who get real friendly and flirty with a tech billionaire who invites them to go with him and his friends to his exclusive island where they have a time that they won't forget. Frida, played by Naomi Akee, is just falling head over heels for this tech billionaire, played by Channing Tatum. She is just smitten. She is in love with the luxuries that come with this island, the food, the exclusive plants that only grow there, the non-stop flow of champagne and drugs, and she is just living the life and she never wants it to end. Her best friend, Jess, played by Aaliyah Shawkat, is like, hey girl, this could be too good to be true. Like, relax, calm down. And Frida's like, no, please don't ruin this for me. Like, I want this lifestyle. Let's just have fun, please. And Jess is like, okay, but Jess gets bit by a snake. And then Jess is like, okay, game's over. Like, let's go. And Frida's like, please don't ruin this moment for me. Like, I really want this. Like, you'll be fine. And Jess is like, okay, even though I got bit by a snake and aren't comfortable anymore, I'll stay here for you. Good friend, right? So one morning, Frida wakes up and cannot find Jess. She goes around and she asks the other people that are with her, like, hey, have you guys seen Jess? And they're like, Jess who? They don't remember. And then Frida realizes that she doesn't remember too much of anything. And then shit gets weird. This commenter wanted to know how I felt Opus, which I reviewed last week, compares to the movie Blink Twice. So let's get started. Although these movies start off very similar, a group of people get invited to go to an exclusive listening party in Opus, and in Blink Twice, a group of people get invited to go to an exclusive island where you aren't going to have your phones in either of these movies, and you're going to be just pampered the entire time, living the dream while weird shit around you is happening. We have a group of people who are oblivious to what's going on and don't ask questions. Meanwhile, in Opus, we have Ariel, the lead character, who questions everything. And in Blink Twice, we have the lead character, Frida, who is just blind and going along with the flow and questions nothing, even though what she is being shown is very weird. As I said, Opus, the main character, is Ariel. She is ambitious. She's a journalist. She knows exactly what she wants. She trusts nothing. She does her own research and she asks questions. She contradicts answers that she's giving. She understands her surroundings and what is supposed to feel good and what doesn't. Whereas Blink Twice, we have the lead Frida, who again questions nothing. Even when she finds dirt under her nails, she sees the dirt on there, questions it for a second, and then just keeps going along. She doesn't want to be accepting of what her reality is. She sees that wrongdoing is happening, but she brushes it aside because she does not want anything to affect her current reality, whereas like living in this luxury dream of hers. The monsters in both of these movies are very similar but have different philosophies. In Blink Twice, the monster is a tech billionaire played by Channing Tatum. His philosophy is taking accountability and apologizing, but then moving on. He wants to immediately be redeemed once he says, I'm sorry, and he wants the world to forget what the problem was. He doesn't think that harping on the past is beneficial at all. People think that they should acknowledge the past, but then let it go. Whereas Moretti in Opus, his philosophy being that he was gone for 30 years and then he's coming back with this new album, his philosophy is that he wants to live forever and he believes he can live forever via word of mouth. He wants to be remembered with his music and having this great discography that his people are just like, oh my gosh, amazing music is my life. But he also wants his legacy and his life to continue, even if he does wrong, which he does a lot of wrong in this movie, but he does that purposefully because he knows that people idolize criminals. People are obsessed with true crime. People talk about true crime every day and they capitalize off of it, and he is exploiting the exploiter in a way. So that's his philosophy. At least that's what I got from it. Blink Twice does a really good job at foreshadowing. Everything that you need to know about this movie is being put in front of you in this movie. Everything that the characters need for survival in this movie is put right there in front of them. Now, whether or not they want to pay attention to the danger is up to them, and whether or not you want to pay attention to the movie clues is up to you or not. And I think that they did a really good job with that in this movie. In Opus, I feel like the writers are more relying on the audience member to have done homework outside of this movie. There are a lot of metaphors and there are a lot of symbolism having to do with historical information like Julius Caesar and Billie Holiday. And if you aren't all that familiar with those types of stories and those types of elements, you might feel left. I felt left out a little bit when I was watching Opus because I did not catch on to the things that they were saying. Some of the movie I had to pause it and look it up just so that I can make sure that I understood what was going on. So it wasn't as an easy of a watch as Blink Twice was when it was delivering their clues and delivering their storylines, which made for an interesting story. It just wasn't an easy watch the way that Blink Twice was. I feel like Blink Twice did a really good job in the beginning of the movie with building suspense and building mystery and having that tension put in front of us and having us feel a little bit uneasy as soon as we're like, oh, okay, like this is a safe environment. Things will start to get weird. I thought they did a really good job with that in the beginning of the movie. But then in the second half of the movie, I just felt like the vibe changed a lot. It was almost, I understand that there was two writers on this movie, but it just felt like the entire first half of the movie was written by one of the writers, and then the entire second half of the movie was written by a totally different writer, as if it wasn't a collaborative project. It was just like a half and half. With that being said, I don't want to give too much away. I did not like the ending of Blink Twice and the choice that the characters made, which ruined for me the entire movie because I was gung-ho and like yes, yes, yes the entire time, and everything was very realistic and very like, yes, this character would make these choices, this makes sense realistically. But when it came to the end, I just felt like it was just the only word I can think of was unrealistic. For me in Blink Twice, when it was time to seek revenge, I felt like the revenge should have been more. I was hoping that there would be more gore. I was hoping that there would be more, blood and guts. I was hoping by the end of it, their white gowns were completely red, but I just wasn't given that, which kind of sucks because the beginning of the movie, it was built up to be that type of movie. But again, like I said, after that first half, the whole vibe kind of changed and it went comedic and it went too light. And then the very, very end, and I won't say too much because I'm not trying to give it away, but the very, very end of the movie, the choice that was made by the characters was just very unrealistic, unbelievable, and that's just not how things work. And so that which really turned me off to Blink Twice. I will also say with Opus, I felt like the beginning of the movie was very solid. I had very good understanding of what was going on, but then they had a jump to 2 years, which completely changed the vibe of the movie. It was no longer suspenseful or intense anymore. It was just very wordy and very long, and it kind of lost my attention just because John Malkovich's character Moretti talked so much and so flowery that I was like, get to the point. Like you had me, you had me, you had me, and now I feel like you're holding me hostage. So the ending just, it made sense, but it just took forever to get there, which kind of lost me because it was we were going. The next thing you know, why are we slowing down? You know what I mean? Why are we slowing down? And then you're trying to tell me roll credits. It was like that. So, what did you guys think of these movies? Do you think they are similar movies, or do you think they just have similarities? I felt like the endings for both of these movies could have been so much better, but that could just be me. What did you guys think of the ending of Blink Twice? Did you guys like that decision? What did you guys think of the ending of Opus? Did it bore you, or did you guys think it fit right in? Let me know in the comments. My name is Hey Shantae. Until the next movie, I'll check you later.